Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Juan Espinosa, and today in the main news we'll be discovering meteorology topics. Mr. Vega, today when I was driving my car, I suffered reduced visibility. Could you explain me about that subject?
Sure, partner. First, I will talk about rays and lightning. But rays and lightning, which although not announced, not identical, are phenomenal concepts whether in short engendered within a natural capacitor propagate through the electric as in the earth. The electric spark that comes above called lightning, while the spark that goes from coal to coal called lightning. Although the two are usually used as synonyms of the same phenomenon, the appearance of the beam is only momentary, followed a few moments by the thunders. The type of rays are the diffuse beam, the street lightning, and the lightning sphere dive. Factors affecting visibility. Fog have a suspended water droplets which produce a visibility of less than 1 kilometer. It's a meteorological phenomenon that is very low close or near ground level and consists of small water particles suspense volume. Unlike the mist is only the smaller size of a few microscopic droplets that form and therefore implies a lesser degrees of reduced visibility. And finally, the haze. The haze is a difference simply that relative humidity should be less than 80%. Production tells us the meteorological condition in Boca image detailed below our reporter.
Whoa, very hard image. It's happening in Boca del Toro. Interesting made you know that weather conditions are highly dependent of air masses and fronts. When Earth sparked several days and weeks over large regions, tend to occur certain characteristics that depend on the property of the underlying surface. If the air is cooler than the surface environment to touch and heat is transferred to and throughout a layer thickness of several kilometers. Similarly, are if you pour on the ocean become progressively more humid. So, but temperature and humidity tend to be balanced with the underlying surface to the degree depending of diverse factors, of which the most important is the duration of contact when the air has similar property to a large extent in a colder air mass. Air mass type tropical sea and tropical continental to polar sea, polar continental, abbreviatory SPC, and from as three separating two air masses of different temperature. They are classified as cool, warm, stationary, and include according to their characteristics. They call from a street stability that occurs when a cold air mass approaches a warmer air mass. Cold air when the air generates and weakens and goes below the warmer and the less dense air cold fronts most rapidly. They are strong and cause atmospheric disturbance. Choose a lithering stir and it's called a war front. The front of mass of war are advancing or to replace as mass of cold air. And occluding from for where war from moving slower is followed by a cold front moving fastest. The wedge-shaped cold front reaches the warm front and pushes onward. The two fronts continue to move one behind the other and between them the slide that further and cold front. A stationary front is a boundary between two air masses of which none is strong enough to replace the other.
Breaking news. They inform us the biggest hurricane in history. Patricia hurricane is forming off the coast of Mexico. We have the satellite image. I will explain how this natural phenomenon originates. A tropical cyclone is a storm system characterized by a low pressure center, wind, and rain. For a cyclone, forms need a low pressure, a string of wind, and precipitation. The evaporation of water creates a flow of air mass, rise as cyclone in combination with a low pressure. Phases of tropical cyclones are: tropical depression is influenced by precipitation, then tropical storm to a string of air, and finally the hurricane generates form when affected by a low pressure.
The best form to prevention hurricane is using a weather report. But a weather report, how do we predict? The weather report predict the general weather information, cloud, rain, thunderstorm, etc. And the weather report using the National Weather Service. But where is a National Weather Service? Exists three different National Weather Service. The first is National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration (NOAA). The other is National Weather Service, and the last is Department of Commerce, International Trade, Business Growth, and Technological Advancement. What we do? Produce weather, water, and climate forecasts and warnings for all Americans to protect life and property, to enhance the national economy, data and products is our government agents, private sector, the public and global community. Weather and data are becoming more important to the economy and business decisions. The National Weather Service have the primary mission is the protection of lives or property, watch warnings and advisories for several thunderstorms, floods, winter storms, and the other is tornadoes and flash floods. Thank you. And continue, you can see a video like the weather reports, and you can receive the weather report like at 24 hours, 48 hours, or 72 hours.
Weather maps, also known as the synoptic chart, are an example of an isoline map. Isoline maps are made up of lines that join points of equal value. Contour lines drawn on a topographic map are another example of an isoline map. Weather maps use lines called isobars, plus other symbols to join together lines of equal air pressure.
The informative time of the day when you are a reporter.
Good afternoon, peoples. I'm Gabriel Rodriguez. Today, I will talk about ocean current, salinity, and tertiaries. An ocean current, or ocean current, is a superficial movement of water from the oceans and the lesser degree of the largest seas. This current have many causes, mainly the movement of earth and the constant of apparent swing, the figuration of the coast, and localization of continents are also forming in temperature difference. Cold water usually go to the bottom and warm water on the surface travel, creating cold draft inequality. Warm currents flow of surface waters of the ocean that originate in tropics and goes from the eastern coast of continent North America and Asia to the middle and high latitudes in possible direction Earth's rotation, such as the Gulf Stream in the Kuroshio. In the southern hemisphere, these currents are almost non-existent by the configuration of the coast and the fact that there are almost no land in temperate latitudes. Unquote. Coast currents flow of cool water that move as a result of the movement of Earth rotation in from east to west from the western coast of continents by rising cold waters of great depth in the tropics and subtropics. Example of cold currents: the Canary Islands, the Benguela, and the Humboldt or Peru and California. In other news, we have the salinity. Salinity is the content of mineral salt dissolved in water body. In the words, the expression is valid salinity to refer to the salt content in soil or water. This evaporation process is more intense in the tropics and lower in the polar regions. Surface water is saturated because evaporation causes the salt concentration increase. The salt content of many lakes, rivers, or streams is so small that these water are thin fresh water. The salt content in drinking water is by definition less than 0.05%. Otherwise, the water is designated as brackish or defined as saline if it contains 3 to 5% salt by volume. Above 5% is considered brine. The ocean is naturally saline, approximately 3.5% salty water. Some lakes or seas are saltier. The Dead Sea, for example, has a surface content of about 15%. Salinity is the environmental factor of great importance and largely determines the types of organisms that can live in a body of water. The plants adapted to saline conditions are called halophytes. Some organisms, mostly bacteria, that can live in various salinity conditions are classified extremophilous, and organisms that can live in wide range of salinity is said to be herb-like. Yes, finally we have the oceanic trenches. The oceanic trenches are hemispheric scale long but narrow topographic depression of the sea floor. They are also the deepest part of the ocean floor. Oceanic trenches are distinctive morphological feature of convergent plates boundaries, along which lithospheric plates move toward each other at rates that vary from a few millimeters to over 10 centimeters per year. A trench marks the position at which the flexed subduction slab begins the descent beneath another lithospheric slab. Trenches are generally parallel to a volcanic island arc and about 200 kilometers from a volcanic arc. Oceanic trenches typically extend 3 to 4 kilometers below the level of the surrounding oceanic floor. The greatest ocean depth to be sunset is the Challenger Deep of the Mariana Trench, at a depth of 11,000 meters below sea level oceanic. Oceanic lithosphere move into trenches at a global rate of about 3 kilometers per year. That with yours, partners.
By the way, congratulations, Mr. Vega. Tomorrow you begin the vacation. By the way, where are you planning for this vacation?
I have a ticket for a boat trip on the Arctic to make an investigation about the iceberg.
Oh, interesting. But you know something about the iceberg? Look at this video.
Run, Rick, go! Go!
It's a large space of floating ice, sweet broken away from a glacier, formed by snow or ice platform, by breaking away from the polar areas. Icebergs are drawn into more central latitudes of the planet, that is the far north and south to the center, partly helped by the cold currents of Arctic origin, and is the case with the current Labrador or Greenland current, which generate these ice miles are obstacle to shipping lanes, and also a dangers, and iceberg appears to be not very great because above water only a 1/8 of its total volume. In fact, they can reach enormous dimensions, constitute a hard to navigation because vessels can be damaged and crash with them. By the way, Titanic is a representative example of these dangers, and it is a cause not worldwide hidden that the risk of the fragility of the boat and the terrible consequence that follow. So be careful, man. and see you tomorrow for more news.